All right, welcome back, everybody. You know what? We are going to finish this Robinhood earnings call. I've done a spectacular breakdown of this. This will be part 4, and this will be the last part. But if you have not seen part 1, go back and check it because Vladimir Tenev, be this man right here, co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Robinhood. Jason Warnick is the chief financial officer, CFO, if you never heard of that, the money man. Over to I forget his name now. Shiv Verma. Shiv Verma is going to be taking over for Jason, I believe, as early as next year. But let's get it.
Another shot at going to the live phone queue. All right, so the next question is from Brian Bedell at Deutsche Bank.
Deutsche Bank.
That's great. Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you.
The telephone works.
Excellent. All right. The old-fashioned TradFi telephone.
Yes.
Finally worked. Well, I just want to say, first of all, congrats, Jason, on retirement.
Thank you.
It's been great working with you, and welcome, Shiv. Looking forward to working with you as well. Maybe my question will go to prediction markets. Maybe if you can just talk about how the customer behavior has been forming just in the last 2 months. We've seen a big increase in volume, obviously in September with NFL and college games added. And how are you seeing that maybe sort of shape in coming into October? Or are you seeing that volume increase coming from more new users coming into the prediction markets, or rather greater usage of existing users? And then if you can talk about maybe just your thoughts around timeline of launching new contracts and potentially even weaving in things around maybe single stocks that active traders can start using.
Yeah, I could start.
He could, but I'm going to start. All right. No, I would never do that to him, but I just did. But listen, no disrespect. Usually something disrespectful is coming. So I'm just going to say it. No. Prediction markets, remember, are the contracts you can bet on, like the presidential election, football games, basketball games, all that kind of stuff. So that's what he's about to answer.
We are working on this. We've actually increased the diversity of the contracts we offer tremendously in the past few weeks, launching entirely new categories. I mean, recently, lots of new entertainment and culture markets. You've seen us broaden out the technology markets as well. So now we're offering over 1,000 live event contracts for customers to trade. We're seeing a lot of adoption. It might not be surprised because we have such a large established customer base, a lot of adoption from existing users, particularly traders.
Okay.
But we're seeing new customers as well. So there's customers that join Robinhood because they want access to our prediction markets offering. And I think there's plenty more we could do, not just increasing contract diversity, but making the user experience better, making it a little bit more discoverable in the product. And the team continues to work hard. You should see the product continue to improve week over week.
Much like our active trader offering, a relatively smaller portion of our customers are participating in the market. And I think as we continue to work on the user interface and discoverability of the product, we've got expectation that we can take that higher.
All right, thank you. The next question is from Dan Doloff at Mizuho.
So they're confident in their prediction markets.
Hey guys, great job again on an outstanding quarter. Wanted to
Thanks,
thank
Dan.
you, Jason. It was welcome, and thank you, Jason. It was a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to working with you, Shiv. And my question for you, Vlad, is Bitstamp very, very strong. I think over 60% growth quarter over quarter. This seems incredibly strategic to Robinhood. Can you maybe elaborate on the long-term strategic importance of this? Because it seems to be off to a great start. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, it was, we've had the pleasure, the Bitstamp team on the engineering side is actually at our offices. So we got to hang out with a lot of them yesterday with Johan and really talk through, what's our plan for next year. And you're right that we've had, pretty tremendous success growing volumes and, improving the product post-acquisition. but we definitely aren't getting complacent. We're not slowing down. We see a huge opportunity. I think Bitstamp can be very key to our tokenization plans as we enter phase 2 of our tokenization vision. We really want to lean in there and give people access to real assets that have fundamental utility on the platform. It's also our first institutional business. And, the one thing I really appreciate with institutional customers is they have lots of choices for where they take their business, and they're definitely not shy about telling us all of the things that we do that we need to do better, which there are a lot of, believe it or not. I think there's so many things that we hear from our institutional customers. So we're gonna have a busy year, and I think that as we continue to be successful and build more things, I think we'll see that volumes and market shares will follow.
All right, thank you.
So they are very confident in Bitstamp and their institutional customers to actually tell them the truth. So they know that's how they're going to get better. So they welcome it. That's basically what I got from what he was saying.
The
And
next
Johan's
one,
very nervous watching me say all this.
all right, the next question is from Brett Knobloch at Cantor.
All right, let's get it.
Perfect. Hey guys, congrats on the quarter. Thank you for taking my question. On the Robinhood Social, could you maybe just dive into that a bit deeper?
Let's go.
When you expect for that to roll out? And
My
how you
dog.
expect maybe users to begin using that, and how it should impact maybe financials, and when you would expect it to impact financials going forward?
All right, so pay attention. Vladimir Tenev, who the mouse is on, right? The co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Robinhood. This was if you listen to the summit in September, that Robinhood was a social media platform to start. They shut that down and started trading stock and became a stock brokerage. But here's my thing, right? Social media exploded a while ago, right? So here's what I'm seeing, right? The dot-com boom meant that everybody needed to shift from just being a brick and mortar to now having a website, right? And if you didn't have a website after a while, you were kind of left behind, right? Because you could have gotten a website that like barely worked and it crashed all the time, but at least you had one and people thought it was cool and they can go there and see it. And then you could develop it over time. But if you get into those beginning stages, 10 years after everybody has already developed theirs further and better, then you're left behind. Then, like he said, 10 years ago, every business had to have a tech component in order to be successful. 5 years from now, it'll be AI. I think also with AI, hear me out, there's going to need to be a social media presence or aspect to your business. You are going to have social media. People got the 30-second TikTok brain, right? So I think social media is going to go hand in hand with the AI component of a business. And I think this is a really good one to actually start that, because what they were saying was that people are going to be able to see your trades, you're going to be able to share, you're going to be able to let him talk, and if there's anything to fill in. I'm just excited about that question. That's what I mean. When you come in front of these guys, you ought to have questions.
Yeah, I think this is something where it may be somewhat challenging to forecast precisely the impact, because the way we see it is this is going to be a new source of information for customers. It'll be a source of trading ideas. We really want the product to be great, and we think that it can be just a source of information. We think we can be the place where a lot of business and financial related discussion can happen and hopefully originate. And we've done some experiments with social features over the years, and we have seen that when executed properly, and I think we're being very thoughtful with how to make sure all of the content is high quality. Of course, with verification of traders, we have an advantage there. We think it can be an engaging product that makes Robinhood not just useful when you have an idea that you want to trade on, but it can be actually where your ideas originate, which I think is a big opportunity because it allows us to close the loop. And if the ideas come from Robinhood and we're the place where they execute on the trades, the platform just becomes more powerful, and that power and the network effect will continue as we continue to roll out more assets. I think we're going to be the only place where you're going to have live verified trades across not just equities, options, and crypto, but also prediction markets and futures. And so the diversity of content, I think, should be quite compelling for folks that are interested in business and finance.
In terms of monetization, we really see this as an opportunity to spin the flywheel, attract more customers to the platform because of the rich social experience, and then be able to capture a greater share of trading activity and other financial activities across the platform.
See, the reason why I think this one is key is because Robinhood Social is going to, as the world becomes more financially conscious, right? Financially literate. You see more financial literacy shows popping up. I think the only thing I can see that's beating it is this man versus woman garbage. But financial literacy spaces are popping up all over the place. Of note, I would say Earn Your Leisure, number one. I would say Wall Street Trapper, Chris Sane. There's a few more out there that's probably bigger platforms, right? But as it becomes more popular, it's going to be more popular with a social media platform to put your trades and stuff on. It's just going to help content creators more. Robinhood is the MVP.
All right. Next question is from Ed Engel at Compass Point.
Hi, thanks for taking the question. You talked about aspirations outside the U.S. and you guys talked about over half of, hopefully one day, your user base will be outside the U.S. How does M&A play into that strategy? And can we expect you to kind of continue kind of launching market by market, or could there be an opportunity to kind of launch in a couple markets simultaneously given a bigger transaction?
Do you say M&A?
Over time, I think it's probably a mix. I mean, we naturally gravitate towards organic growth, and you're seeing examples of that, for example, in the UK. But we do have an active corp dev team. Actually, Shiv has been leading that for some time now. And when deals make sense for us, great team, great technology, ability to accelerate the roadmap. We don't shy away from those kinds of opportunities as well.
Okay. The next question is from Steven Chubak at Wolf.
Thanks, Chris, and congrats, Jason and Shiv. Wanted to start with a question just on the international strategy and the growth that you've seen thus far. I was hoping to get some perspective, Vlad, in terms of how that growth is tracking relative to plan. Is there more that you can do in terms of product deployment and innovation to maybe help accelerate that growth? Just hasn't gotten as much airplay as like some of the other opportunities. So I was hoping you can unpack that a little bit further.
Yeah, I think it's still early in our international plan. That's why when we talk about this opportunity, it's really a 10-year vision, because unlike the US, when we expand into these markets, we don't have an existing established customer base
That's
to
right.
cross-sell into.
He does not.
But we're really seeing signs that we like, and so we've continued to invest even more. Cohort activity, both in the UK and the EU, has been improving, and that's actually led us to start doing marketing initiatives because we're starting to see like real ROIs to marketing activity as revenue goes online. Um, in the EU with the To Catch a Token event just a few months ago, we launched in 30 countries with stock tokens, which we're really excited about. I mean, you've seen that ramp up, but again, it was a couple of months ago, so not much time has passed. So I think this is one of those things where, 5, 10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll say, man, we underestimated the growth of that business as we tend to do with things that are early. But we like the early signs, and we're continuing to increase our investment. And there's so much to build. I mean, even I mentioned with tokenization, we're still just in phase one. So I think over time it'll become clear how those products actually have significant advantages over what you might find elsewhere.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else on that, right? Remember, undersell, over deliver. Do not let these folks goad you into like saying, we're going to be the biggest, we're going to be the best, baddest, we're going to be the this, we're going to be the that. Undersell it, over deliver it. He said they have more customer base. They've garnered more customer base in the EU when they did To Catch a Token event. I fell out of that thing. I was just getting out of work and I was on Coronado and I was listening to it. And I got like the first 3 or 4 questions correct. They asked, one of them was, what was the first $1 trillion company? And that's Apple, of course, right? What was the first $5 trillion company? It's NVIDIA, just happened. But undersell, over deliver. And that's what they do. And I love it.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Amit at Amit is Investing.
Hey, Vlad. Hey, Jason. Thank you guys for taking my question. And a big thank you, Jason, over the years on your execution, and congrats to you, Shiv, on your new role. My question is for you, Vlad. Going back to tokenization, you recently said tokenization will eat the broader financial system. Outside of just tokenized equities, can you give us a more larger look on how big of a size the opportunity is, why right now is the time to go after it, and what Robinhood is really thinking about over the next couple of years in terms of taking advantage of the opportunity? I know there's a lot of different other assets besides equities that can be tokenized. So can you just speak a little bit more on how you guys are thinking of the opportunity?
Yeah, I think the opportunity is very exciting. One of the things that I think is both a problem and an opportunity with traditional crypto is that crypto and the traditional financial system, up until fairly recently, have kind of been 2 separate worlds. And I think Robinhood has a unique position as a scaled crypto business, but also a scaled business in traditional finance to bridge the two and actually make room for what we consider traditional assets, but really things like securities, products with real fundamental utility to leverage blockchain technology and actually be tradable on chain, where customers can self-custody, they can engage with a variety of protocols, collateralized borrowing and lending, and where those assets can be traded 24/7, real time, and fractional quantities. You've obviously seen some efforts in private companies in the EU with our OpenAI and SpaceX token giveaways there. So I think we're really interested in continuing to pull on that and making those products available to customers. The other opportunities that I'm personally excited about is real estate, private credit, unique assets and collectibles like art. If you think about, what's a part of your portfolio, if you're a high net worth individual, there's a lot of these assets that actually retail can't access currently. And I think that tokenization is a way to enable that at scale, and sort of like reduce some of the downsides that would typically be associated with holding those assets, like lack of liquidity, being locked into positions, not being able to like chunk the assets out and invest in portions of them. So that's why we're continuing to push on it, both in the U.S. and outside. And you should expect this to become bigger and bigger in the coming years. Of course, starting with stocks, which is the asset class that we think has the most potential and we're also closest to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vlad.
Let me stop that right there. So I typed token into the search bar of Robinhood on my phone, and or these flat screen TVs that are supercomputers that are also able to make phone calls. And a bunch of stuff came up. So I'm gonna check this stuff out, and I may have something for you. But I would say something he said was key. He said in the EU, they did tokenization of OpenAI and SpaceX. Those are two private companies, people, that I'm telling you when they IPO, I will be a part of. I don't care what the cost is because I know it's going to fly off the chain. OpenAI owns ChatGPT. We say Microsoft, but it's because Microsoft is a large majority owner of OpenAI. SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's company, Neuralink, Starlink. I am waiting for those 4 IPOs. I won't have to wait if they can fight the SEC and allow for the common man to invest into private companies. Then I would take some of that right there, and that's where my buying power would go, right? That's where it would go.
The next question is from Roy from Crossroads.
Thanks for taking my question, and huge congratulations to Jason and also Shiv, and congrats to everybody on a great quarter too. And very impressive. There's been a huge increase in predictions market activity. And I'm curious if the volume shown in the platform is a mix of Kalshi and Robinhood, or is it just pure Robinhood? And also, is Robinhood considering expanding this internationally, even alongside or even ahead of its current trading expansion plans?
Good question. You want to field it?
Yeah, I mean, sure. The volumes that we're showing are the volumes that are on Robinhood. I'm sure Kalshi is counting the activity that we send to them, which is quite substantial. And for contracts that we offer, I think a very large chunk of Kalshi's volume is actually coming from Robinhood. In terms of international, Vlad, I'll let you cover that one.
Yeah, we're definitely looking into it closely. And you talk about tokenization as some of the previous callers have brought up. Prediction markets is another asset class that actually has a strong crypto component, particularly outside the US. So we're definitely taking a look at what's the most effective way to get that to our customers. And I think it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, maybe slightly different in each jurisdiction, but we have some options, as a scaled traditional player, but also on the crypto side. I think we'll have our pick of what's best in each jurisdiction, and that's something we're definitely closely looking at.
Okay. The next question is from Maddie Deleden from JP Morgan.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Maddie on for Ken. Thank you for taking our question. On shorting, has Robinhood experienced a noticeable pickup in customers applying for margin accounts in order to participate in the short selling since your 3Q launch? What have early adoption numbers and customer behavior looked like in these first few months? Thank you.
Yeah, so shorting
Interesting
is
question.
Something that we've announced at the Hood Summit event in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Customers are very excited about it.
Yep.
It's somewhat hard to believe
Like
that
right now.
we've been able to get to this point without offering shorting, but we've been rolling it out to employees and doing final testing. It's actually not yet rolled out to external customers. So we think people will love it, but too early to tell. And I guess to answer your question, no, I don't think the increase in margin usage has been in anticipation of shorting because it's just not yet available.
Okay, thank you.
That's
The
what they're
next
talking
question
about.
is from Tanner with Future Investing.
Hey guys, first
Tanner,
off, I just wanted to start off with a, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
we
we
can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. With a crypto question around crypto staking on the Robinhood platform so far, if there's any insights there. And then also just maybe a small request, if you guys are open to publishing event contracts volume on their monthly metrics updates going forward. That's it.
On the amount staked, I think it's we exited the quarter at about $1 billion. The market's been pretty volatile over the last few days, so I think it's come down a little bit. But customers are responding very well to the ability to stake.
And what about the event contracts volume published in monthly metrics?
Such a nerd question.
I'll leave that with Shiv as something to consider. I don't want to promise that for him, but we do like, seriousness, being as transparent as possible for investors, and we're always looking at ways to provide incremental disclosure to help you understand the business. So
I do love this about them, that he's right. They are pretty darn transparent. They don't do question dodging. And that to me would tell me that your business is shady. I think he went to not answer the question and Vlad didn't want him to avoid the question. Maybe he forgot because the guy had a long-winded question, two-part question. But because he's not going to be the CFO, he doesn't want to speak on it. So he's kicking it to Shiv. They're not dodging the question.
that's something we'll look at.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
All right.
And it was more of a Shiv, this is going to be on your docket, right? Don't answer it right now because maybe they don't have the answer.
That is the last question from our virtual queue. Is there anybody else in the audience here who didn't get to ask a question earlier and wants to ask a question?
Perhaps
Not
one
Dan-
of the
not
virtual.
Dan Gallagher.
No.
No.
It's so nuts
All right, well,
because if you were
let's
on
pass it back to you, Vlad.
if you were on the annual call that they do, annual conference they do every year, and the summit they do every year, you should have questions galore. This is just ridiculous.
Okay, I think you guys should know that we are not slowing down. The team remains incredibly excited to continue our mission, and there's so much to do. Roadmap is full. AI event is coming up, which I think will be very, very exciting. So hopefully some of you will be able to join us there, at least virtually.
I'll be there.
To commemorate this occasion, bittersweet though it might be, I've learned that Jason has a favorite dessert. And so we've actually brought one here. And Jason wanted to share this with everyone in person and virtually vicariously. A baked Alaska.
You all wonder why I'm retiring.
He had a Robinhood chef's hat.
Light it here, even though that would have been very cool. So
It looks incredible. It's the first time I've ever had it. Actually, growing up, my favorite was lemon meringue pie, and this brings back fond memories. So, and underneath, I anticipate there's ice cream, which is my favorite dessert.
I wish they gave me the lighter, and I just tried unsuccessfully to light it. But
well, thank you, and I appreciate all the kind words of encouragement, and I do believe we're leaving the company in an incredible position, and I think you're gonna find in short order that Shiv is, if not an upgrade, equally as good at driving the company forward. So
I hope so.
Thank you.
Don't let me
Thank
down,
you. We'll see if
Shiv.
he can finish an entire one of these. It looks like there's one for each of us up here.
We'll bring some of the team to help with that up.
All right, thank you.
Shiv
you
don't
all.
look like he's gonna touch that. He's fit or he's thin. All right, folks. So there you have it. The Robinhood Q3 earnings call. On the Blacksmith podcast, we give you value. We just bring it to you quarter after quarter after quarter, video after video, Saturday after Saturday. If you're not excited about Robinhood, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what other companies you want to look at. NVIDIA is great. I think I might break down their call next, but this is Robinhood's. Be excited And I will catch you right back here on the next one. Y'all have a good one.